Okay, we're going to take a look at defense for playing against St. Mary's, but also defense in general. So, really quickly here, this is our defensive base positions. Okay. What I'm finding is that we're tending to play our base positions looking like this. Okay. That allows the other team to have access to shots in between our blocks cross court. Cross court for most of tonight will be the attacks that we see from the pin hitters, the outside hitter and the opposite. Okay, so let's get back to that. We want to be one arm length there and here. Now, tonight, we're going to shade a little bit. We're going to have the middle emphasize the outside attacker more. Why? Because they have two good outside attackers. That means the middles will be open. They tend to tip. They'll get good shots, and they tend to hit, in here and here. They don't seem to do a whole lot of tipping or hitting over to here or here. So those are some things you can think about. But basically, what we want is we want to be blocking, double blocking with the outside hitter, and having the right side hitter find that outside and take away cross court. Okay, so that's one. Second, we want our defenders wider. This defender's in pretty good shape right in the middle of this back zone, not back here, not wandering around at base. Remember when we put the box on the floor, in the box before they see the play and then react to what they see. Okay, so that's defense one. A modification of this would be if we decide their number 10 is a really good line hitter. So if we decide to block line, then what we're going to do is have this right side come out here and take away everything but the last 18 inches or so, foot and a half of the net. You're going to set up out there and the middle's going to cheat over a little bit and you're just going to double block her when she's in the front row to take away line. If we take away line, that allows this defender to drift in and cover behind the block or read whatever she sees. So that's generally going to be a setter. In fact, it's always going to be a setter. The other way to do it is to use our regular blocking scheme, and then the setter has to dig. Now, that's basics. So all I'm asking here is use our defense with a better alignment for our blocking up front and a wider alignment for our defensive positions because we're cheating in too far. The other thing that's happening is when we block here, our setter is drifting into the middle. And it depends on the setter. Everybody's a little different, but all of you are doing this. Sierra, you're going way in there. Your job when they go out to block here is to take this cross-court hit away. You need to be defending this. So what you should be thinking is when the play goes out to this side, you need to move. Instead of following the play over here, you need to stay home and face that hitter. See that hitter inside the block. You're looking to see her and the ball inside that block. We tend to set our blocks pretty wide, so you might have to set up here, or you might have to move back or forward, okay? I understand that, but what we don't want you doing is we don't want you going back and getting and following inside here like this, okay? All right, let's see if I can clean this up here. Okay, for tonight, I'm going to introduce a new defense, okay? And it's going to be a little strange for you to play with, but I think it's a good one to have because they like to hit, especially their outside hitter. They have two. I think it's number 14 is the second one. She hits almost everything back here. Okay. Their other outside hitter hits this shot. Okay, same thing. But she also hits in here. Okay, so we don't have players there. So we can use what's called a man up, a middle up, a red, a lot of different names for it, but it's a different kind of defense, and we're going to use it. And it looks like this. Front row is exactly the same. The back row, we play a middle up, but what we're going to do is we're going to play our setter up. And we're going to play these two players here. Okay? Okay, so you're at about 20 feet. And again, notice this is where they tend to hit the ball. When they hit down the line, they hit down here. When they hit cross court, they hit over here. The weakness of this defense is that you need to cover very well. So how do you do that? You use this person wherever the hitter's coming from. So let's just say the hitter's coming from this side. This player, which will be our setter, is going to have to cover such that she can get all the tips in this area all the way to the line. Okay? And probably even a little bit further over here. Okay? So that's what she has to cover if the attack comes from that side. If the attack comes from this side, she has got to come over and cover all the tips such she gets all of this. Okay? So that's a challenge, but it's doable. The other piece that's really important here is if let me clear this. If our setter covers over here because we got a double block up and she's covering tips, we need this player to come back and cover tips or hits in this area. So it's important if you're not blocking that you get off the net, you get into a spot where you can cover court. What does this give up? This gives up, one, if we don't get this coverage, that causes a problem. And we need to make sure we get the coverage we need, okay? So make sure you get off. Now we've got two people here. What's open is the middle deep, which is not where they've been hitting when their outside hitters hit. And they do run their outsides a lot. So what happens is, as they're attacking from this side, this player is going to be trying to make sure she can get into this zone and see the hitter hitting over here. And if they go middle, this player has to kind of read in. And basically what's going to happen, the reality of it is this. If they hit middle and our block is up, they're going to have to hit it over the block, which means that these two players have to close on that play and make almost an emergency swing to put it up. But it takes away the places they like to hit. It makes them hit places they don't like to hit. And really importantly, we can switch between defenses. So if they all of a sudden start hitting zone 6, all we have to do is go back to our base defense. Now, I haven't shown switches here. You know who plays right, left, and whatever. The big switch, if we play middle up, is that the setter goes here and reads side to side, covers a lot of ground. These guys have to cover the back corner, not corners, but mid-length. So instead of being 15 feet, they're going to be 20 feet, halfway almost back here, okay? And the other piece is if our setter takes the first ball on a tip, there's two options. One, set the ball immediately and hit over on 2, which is a good thing to do. Or 2, give it to somebody else, preferably the libero, to set. But it can be someone else to set. So we want to try this tonight. I wanted to give you a quick look at it and take a few minutes to watch and understand what we're going to do. Thanks.